Myself Padmaja, Associate Professor, Department of CSE, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. In this video, we are going to discuss a number of problems using function concepts in Python, and also we are going to discuss the different types of arguments that we can pass to a function. So let us move to our idle editor, text editor, and execute some programs. So we will start our concept with a small program, addition of two numbers using a function. So it's a program to add two integers using functions. So for that, we have to write down a function. So for writing a function in Python, we use the def keyword followed by the name of the function is suppose total, and this function takes two arguments. So let us say the arguments are a and b. Okay. Now after that, we have to compute the result, which is nothing but addition of two numbers, a plus b. And if you do not want to return the result, then you can simply print here sum is equal to, just write down the result. Okay. Now here we have written the function definition. Now let us write our driver code. So first you have to read the value of a and value of b and pass it to the function. So we will read the value of a, which is an integer. So int of input of enter a number or enter a value. Similarly, let us read the value of b, int of input of enter b value. So after reading these two values, let us call the function. Name of the function is total, and we are passing the value of a and b. So this is a very simple program for doing addition of two numbers, where you are understanding that this is called function calling, and you have to understand that this is the function definition. Now let us save this program as the first function program and execute our code. So when you execute your code, it is asking the value of a. So let me enter some 10 and value of b is 20 and the sum is 30. So this is the simplest program. So copy paste the output and let us paste it here, and we'll put this output in the command line. So with this simple program, let us go for the next program, where we talk about the local and global variables. So what is the importance of local variables and global variables? Let us understand here. Now suppose there is a variable n is equal to 10. So this variable is a global variable because it is declared outside the function. So printf global variable is nothing but n value. Now let us define a function. Define function and you pass another variable, let us say n1. So whenever you pass any argument or variable, that is treated to be a local variable. Okay. Now let us print in function what is the value of local variable. Local variable is our n1. n1 is equal to how much? Whatever the value we pass to the function, that will be the local variable. Now let us take another variable, n2 is equal to, let us say, some 30, and print the value that in function. This is also a local variable which you have declared. So what is the difference? That n1 is the local variable which has been passed as an argument, and n2 is the local variable which you have defined inside the function. So which is nothing but n2, right? Now let us call the function. So while calling the function, suppose I am passing the value as 10, and let us print the value of the global variable. So global variable is how much? So global variable is our n in this program. Okay. Now let us try to print the local variable which you have declared in the function. So local variable is how much? Let us take it is N2. Okay. Now let us save this program and try to execute. Whenever you are trying to execute, you are getting the global variable. The first output is 10. N is a global variable whose output is 10 you have got. Then the local variable output is N1 which you have passed through the function, that is 10. And the second local variable you have declared inside the function, which is 30. Okay. And the global variable can be accessed anywhere in the program. So outside the function also you are getting your 10. But the outside the function you are trying to access the local variable. N2 is a local variable which is local to the function which you are trying to access it. So you are getting the error, name error, that name N2 is not defined. Okay. So you cannot access a local variable outside the function. So if a variable is local to this function, then you cannot access it outside. That's why if you will write the last print statement, you will get the name error because it won't recognize what is the name N2. N2 name cannot be recognized over here. Okay, so this is the uses of local and global variable. Otherwise, other things you can print it very nicely. You can see over here what is the local global variable can be accessed inside a function and outside a function. Similarly, local variables can be passed, or any variable which is passed is local. Otherwise, you can declare some local variable inside the function. So this is our second program. Then next we will move on to the third program where you will use the global keyword. So how to make use of global keyword, let us understand. Third program is usage of global keyword or global statement. Let us see. Okay. Now let us take a variable and the variable contains the string good. Okay. Let us write down a function show, and this function, inside this we have declared a global variable. Let us say variable 1, and that variable 1 is having a string morning, right? And if you write a print statement in function, inside the function, okay, so what is the value of variable? Variable is, what is the value that you will get over here? That is good you will get. Okay. Now, this is our show function we have written. Let us call this function. So, show function, this is called function calling. This is called function calling. We have called. And this function takes no arguments or parameters. So, that's why we are not providing any arguments or parameters. Right. Now, outside the function, let us try to access the value of variable 1 outside the function. What is the value of variable 1 is? So, variable 1 is declared as a global variable with the help of global statement. So, whenever it is declared as a global variable, so here the program says that a global variable can be declared without using the global statement or with using the global statement. So, here variable and variable 1 both are global. Okay. So, here I am trying to access variable 1. So, I should get the output as morning. Okay. Now, similarly, I am trying to access outside the function what is the value of variable. So, let us save this program and see the output. Now, when you run this code, what is the output you are getting? In function, when you have access the value of the global variable, it is good, right? Now, outside the function, variable 1 is a global variable, and outside the function it is morning. And similarly, outside the function also you can access, because the meaning of global variable is you can access inside or outside. So that's why that output you got is your good. So this way you can use the global statement for declaring the global variables. So in this program, you have learned how to declare local and global variables. Now, in our next program, let us go for how to demonstrate or program to make use of keyword arguments. We can pass different types of arguments to functions. One is called the keyword arguments, positional arguments, default arguments, and variable length arguments. So, in this context, first let us understand how to pass keyword arguments and what is the meaning of keyword arguments. Okay, so let us do one program. So, suppose there is a function called display and where we are passing one string, one integer, and one float. Okay, now after receiving the value of a string, integer, and float, let us print it. String is nothing but the content which is there in S. Similarly, our integer is nothing but X, and our Y is nothing but our float. So we are just receiving these three parameters and simply printing it in this program. Now let us go for function calling. So call this function. Name of the function is display and let us pass using the keyword arguments. Okay, in keyword arguments you need not follow the order. For each argument you have to write down the argument name and its value. Suppose I am passing first y is equal to sum 1234.50. Okay, sum x is equal to sum 555 and s is equal to, I am passing some name Rama. Right? So this is the beauty of keyword arguments. You need not follow the order. In positional arguments you have to follow the order. But here you are passing the arguments with the help of the argument names itself. So the order is not important. You can pass it in any order. So these are the keyword arguments I have passed. Now let us save this program and check the output. Yes. So you can see that though you have passed in a different order, that is the beauty of keyword arguments, but it is stored into the appropriate arguments or variables and then it is displaying the values in the correct order. So this is the simple program regarding the keyword arguments. Now let us move on to the next program to understand another program about keyword arguments. Okay. Now let us go for program using keyword arguments. Another program we are discussing. Okay. Now another way of writing the same program can be done. So let us define a function. Same function will take display and will take some variables name, age and salary. These are the three arguments we want to pass and we want to print the name, age and salary of a person. So write here name, then followed by, then write here the age and then salary. Okay. Now these are the three things we are displaying over here. Now what we will do, we will take some local variables. Suppose for name we will take n and we will store a name Rama. Okay. For age we will take a variable a and we will store some age 25. Okay. And for salary we will take a variable and we will store some salary over here. Right. Now how will you pass these arguments? Now let us do this function calling. Call the function. So name of the function is display. Display is the name of the function. Okay. Now I have to do mapping. Mapping of this local variable with my keyword arguments. That has to be done. So let me write here, mapping the keyword arguments with the local variables. So how will you do this? So for that, what is the position doesn't matter in keyword argument. So salary is the actual argument and I can write salary is here mapped to local variable S. Similarly, name is the keyword argument and for name I can write N, and similarly for age I can write I'm doing the mapping with the local variable A. And this is the way it should be written. Now let us save it and run this code. Now when you run this code, you can see that the local variables are properly mapped with the keyword arguments and the values are stored into the to the function variables. So here you can see the output as name, Rama, age 25 and salary is this much. So let us copy paste this code and output and put it in our program. So this way keyword arguments can be used. Now let us move on to another program. Now where we will discuss about the default arguments. Default arguments. Let us take similar example. Let us take there is a function called display and this function is having a combination of default argument and default argument it is having. So for example, it is having name and another argument is course whose default value is BTech. Whose default argument is name and course, where course is equal to BTech. Okay. Now I want to print the name and the course in which the student is studying. Course, I want to print it. Okay. Now let us do function calling. While calling the function, what is the name of the function? Display. If I am giving only a name, okay, let me write course is equal to Eamcet, then what will happen? Already the default course is BTech for the student, and when you give the course as Eamcet, then it will override. And name is equal to Rama. If you are providing like this, then this is nothing but you are using the concept of keyword arguments. Okay, because for each argument you are providing some value, and this is the concept of keyword arguments, right? Okay. Now, but instead of this, if I am simply passing Rama as the name, okay, or I can write name is equal to Rama, then by default for course it will take BTech. Okay. Now let us check this. Let us save this and run this program. Yes. So in the first case, Rama and the course was overridden. So it is now Eamcet. And for the second one, it is just the name you have given. So it has taken the default course as your BTech. So in this way, you need to understand the default arguments. Now, let us go for another program where you should see that the non-default arguments should not follow the default arguments. So the concept is program to show non-default arguments should not follow default arguments. So what is this concept? So in Python, there is a rule that the non-default arguments should not follow default arguments. So for this, let us write a program. So definition display. Suppose I have an argument name, then course is equal to BTech, and followed by the third argument is marks. Okay, and I want to do in the similar manner, I want to do the printing of name, then followed by printing of course and the marks. Okay, so I'll write similar manner, the name, then followed by course and followed by marks. So I have written here 3 print statements. Right. Now after writing, let us call this function. So the name of the function is display. Okay. I'm passing some value for this name is Sita, some name, course default value is there, marks some 90 marks I'm sending. Okay. Now let us save this program and check it out. Now, if you will run this program, you will get error. What is the error that you are getting? That the non-default argument, marks is not having any default value. So it is a non-default argument. It is following a default argument. So the order is wrong. The order is wrong and you cannot write some non-default arguments after default arguments. That is the mistake. So in what way you can change? So we can remove this from here and if you will put it here. Okay. And let us save and run this code. Now, what is the problem? Positional arguments follow keyword arguments. So in that way also you cannot write. Okay. Now, for that, I will remove this and let us try now. Yes. Now, so first positional argument is Sita, second is 90, third one is the default, course is BTech. So it will take like this. So be careful while writing the non-default arguments after the default argument. So that should not be the order. Okay. So this is the next program. Now let us move on to another program. Now let us go for the fourth type of argument passing, that is called variable length arguments. Okay. Variable length arguments. So in variable length arguments, you have to use a star mark before the argument name. So how to go for a variable length argument? Let us go for one example. Definition. If there is a function and this function contains a name and a list of favorite subjects by the students. List of favorite subjects by the students. Okay. Now print. I want to print the list of favorite subjects along with the name of the student. So name comma that the student likes to read this subject. So just a message I am writing over here. So a name, some name X likes to read so and so subject. So this way my output should look like. Okay. So for that, as it is iterative in nature, favorite subject is a list of subjects. So for that you need to write down a loop where you can iterate over the list of subjects. Okay. So let us write for subject in favorite subjects. So while iterating, print each subject. This is a simple for loop where you can print the subjects one by one. Right. This is about the function definition. Now let us talk about how to do function calling. Now let us do function calling in different manner. Okay. By giving no favorite subject or one favorite subject or multiple favorite subjects. So what is the name of the function? The name of the function is FUNC. Okay. For this function, let me give the name as Rama. Okay. Followed by, let me give mathematics and computers and physics, a list of subjects I am providing. So I should get the output Rama likes to read mathematics, Rama likes to read your computers, Rama likes to read physics, and so on. Okay, as it is iterative in nature. Now, next time I want to give some name Sita, then a list of subjects. C, then followed by data structures, then followed by operating systems, and so on. Okay. Now, third time, I want to call and I want to give only a single name Krish. And I'm not giving a list of favorite subject. So, the meaning of star is 0 or more arguments. Okay, 0 or more arguments you can give. So, that I'm trying to show you over here. So, let us save this program and run it. Now, you can see over here, in the first function calling, Rama likes to read what? Mathematics, computers and physics. Each subject is iterative. So, you have done in the loop 3 times. So, 3 subjects are coming. Similarly, in the second case also, Sita likes to read CE, data structures, operating system. And Chris likes to read only because you have not passed any subject name. Okay. So, 0 or more arguments can be given in variable length arguments. And the variable name must be preceded by a star symbol. So, that's what you have to remember. Now, let us move on to the next concept, how to make use of the anonymous function lambda. So, let us talk about the lambda function. Lambda is known as an anonymous function. And it is used in several places in Python and it really makes your task easier. Okay. Now, let us go for a small example. Okay. Let us start with a program to add 2 numbers using the syntax of lambda function. So, how to add 2 numbers using a lambda function? Already in the beginning of this video, we have done how to add 2 numbers by writing a function, user-defined function. Let us do this in just writing one line of code. Let us take sum is a variable is lambda. So, if you do not want, because sum is also a reserved variable, it's a function name. So, I have taken sum1 is lambda. So, for doing sum, we need 2 arguments. Simply write x plus y and print the sum. Otherwise, this whole thing you can write down in single line also inside a print statement. That is also possible. Okay. Sum is equal to, just print the variable sum1. That's all. So, let us quickly save this and run this program. So lambda function is showing some error. Okay. Okay. Here to the sum, we need to pass the arguments. Okay. That means we need to pass 2 numbers for which the sum should be prepared. Okay. Let us check now. Yes. So, the sum is 8. Right. So, here we have written lambda function with the 2 arguments. Okay. And so, 2 arguments we need to pass. So, that was the mistake. So, 2 arguments I have passed and the output is ready. Now, let us go for another example of lambda function. Now, program to find the smaller of 2 numbers using lambda function. How to find the smaller of 2 numbers using lambda function? So, let us write down a definition. Definition small. This is just a normal user defined function. We are passing 2 arguments a and b. Okay. Okay. Now, if A is less than B, then we will return A as smaller, else we will return B as smaller. So this is the normal way of defining a function for finding which is smaller number. Right. Now in this program, we have to make use of lambda function. It is told. Okay. Let us take one variable, sum1 is equal to lambda, which takes two arguments and which is doing the job of x plus y. And similarly, there is another variable difference. So lambda x comma y, it is doing x minus y. It is doing x minus y. Now, you can pass this lambda function as an argument to the regular function. So, let us do now. Okay. Pass the lambda function as an argument to a regular function that we are going to do now. Okay. How to pass this lambda function as an argument? Let us see. So, whenever you want to print the smaller of two numbers, so smaller of two numbers, that's what my output is required. So, the name of the function, regular function, is small. To this, I will pass these two lambda functions, sum1 and difference. Okay. So, if I am giving minus 3 comma minus 2 as the first argument, which itself is a lambda function, and difference as minus 1 and 2. Right? Now, we need to check that how it is working. Now here, small is a regular function. In that regular function, we have passed the lambda function names, lambda function as an argument. Okay. So here sum1 will be calculated first. What is sum1? X plus y. Minus 3 plus minus 2 is minus 5. Difference is minus 1 and minus 2. Minus 1 minus 2 is minus 3. So minus 5 and minus 3 are the arguments. So which is smaller? So minus 5 is smaller. So we should get our output as minus 5. So the smaller of two numbers is minus 5. So this is the concept how to pass lambda function as an argument here. Okay. Now this is about the usage of lambda function. Now let us move on to the next program. Now in our next program is program that passes lambda function as an argument to a function. Passing a lambda function as an argument to a function. How to do this? Okay. Let us write down a normal function which takes two arguments f and n. F and n. Then print f of n. Now, the function is to print f of n. So, here we will take two lambda functions which will compute twice of a number. So, if x is a number, then it will find out x into 2 and thrice of a number. Lambda x is x into 3. Right? Now, let us call this function. To this function, we will pass the lambda function as an argument. So, what is the name of the lambda function here? Twice. And we have to pass the value of n. Let us say it is 4. And let us call the function again by passing the lambda function, that is thrice, and pass 3 as the argument. So, we are passing a function. That function itself is a lambda function and another normal argument. So, this way we have written the program and save it. And let us run this program. So you can see here the output is 8 and 9. So first argument is 4, 4 into 2 is 8. Second argument is 3, then 3 into 3 is 9. In this video, we have learned how to write down a function and what are the different types of argument and how to pass the arguments to a function. And we have executed a number of programs for explaining the concept of parameter passing and the concept of anonymous function lambda. Thank you so much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.